Yo, what is up lads and ladettes to another Ps4 Siege video. Now I hope everyone's having a good day, and in this video we're going to be talking about recycling of weapons. So as you guys know, Ubisoft has been going pretty ham over the last year for pretty much recycling weapons. So they're just bringing usually weapons from year 3 and default weapons back into the game, where they're not actually adding new weaponry in, which is quite sad. Because if you think about it, when a new op came out, it was so fun to play them because they had new weaponry. It really made the operator stand out, where now when a new op comes out or is leaked, it's kind of like, oh cool, they have a new gadget, you know, but you're not going to get new weapons, just recycled. So in this video I'm pretty much going to talk about why they're recycling weapons, give you a rough idea, and talk about my opinion and my thoughts on it. So let's get into it. Alright, so as you guys know, Ubisoft has currently got 17 seasons, and it's been 5 years. So in the course of 5 years, because of course we're in season 1 of year 5 right now, we've had 17 seasons. That is a lot of seasons, guys. Now during years 1 to 3 we had completely new unique weaponry accustomed to certain operators. So on release each operator had their unique weapon roughly, or if they're part of the same CTU they'd have the same sort of weapons. But for year 4 onwards, we see the new weapons fade out, like there was only recycles of weapons. Now, this actually happened in Operation Burnt Horizon, I don't know if you guys remember, but they added in the M249. Now of course the M249 SAW was Capiteo's weapon, except it was just the M249, but this is a different variant of it with similar stats, but except it houses the scope. So since they gave the scope to this weapon, they also gave Capiteo the scope. Of course, this weapon is fitted to Gridlock. Now, this was the first time we had seen a recycled weapon like that, except they had added a new attachment. Now, when we move on to Phantom Sight, which was the next operation after that, next season, pretty much what happened was they had no new weapons. All weapons are recycled. So we haven't actually had a recycled weapon, or a new weapon, sorry, since Shifting Tides, I think it was, yeah. So Kali's Sniper was the last time we've seen a proper new weapon. So Burnt Horizon we had new weapons, Phantom Sight we didn't, and then from that point on we didn't have any apart from Kali's Sniper, and we're still getting recycles right now, which is actually really sad to see. Alright, so I have a bit of an old article here, and we're just going to cover pretty much why they're recycling weapons. So Rainbow Six Siege Phantom Sight isn't adding any new weapons, here's why. So this is by Alex Remy, by the way, so he mentions all this and says these. So there are some extremely simple reasons we haven't had any new weapons added to the game, said Remy. So the simplest out there, if I'm not mistaken, there are over 80 unique weapons in the game. Yes, there is actually, there are a lot of weapons in Siege. And now that we're getting to a point where finding weapons that we can legally adapt, so of course for weapons in video games in it, you need licenses. That's why they don't have the real name, that's what they're normally called usually, because they do need to be licensed and, you know, they need to be allowed to actually add it into the game. So now we're getting to a point where finding new weapons that we can legally adapt for the game is getting tough. We nearly have a complete list. So obviously they've gone through a lot of weapons and they can't bring everything in. Now Remy isn't mistaken, although a few model variants like the M249 and the M249 SAW, which is what Gridlock features, there are 99 different weapons in the game. Guys, there are 99 new weapons. And featuring Kali's Sniper now, that's 100. That is over 100 new weapons that are all completely unique on their own. So, excluding unique gadgets like Capiteo's crossbow, Remy mentions that the team only like to add weapons to the game that can do something interesting with it. So, I would say more or less they're recycling weapons that aren't used often or aren't on characters with high pick rates. So, it can be good for the players too, adds Remy. A new operator comes out, but with a familiar weapon, you don't need to learn new recoil patterns. We can't expect players to learn hundreds of recoil patterns. But that's the thing, it is quite easy to learn recoil patterns. It does take a while, especially if you're on console, but after a while you do get used to all the weapons, and that's the thing with new operators. So when you get a new operator, you used to expect new weaponry, because you could just play around with it, have fun, and that's what brought the new operators like a flair to them, why you wanted to play them, where now you can't actually really play them without having that much fun, because the abilities aren't that useful. So unless you have some nice weapons that got recycled on there that you quite like, then it's quite boring, the new ops, if you think about it. Now, pretty much what he says down here is, similarly, blah blah blah, we don't want players to buy cool skins for each operator. Well, this is why we have universal skins, because that translates onto like every single weapon, right? So, like, that's for, I think it's called the Platinum or Diamond camo, I can't remember the exact name of it, sorry. And there are, of course, all those camoed skins and normal skins, as well as seasonal weapon skins, which can be featured on almost every operator. So, it's quite weird to see that they're putting this as an excuse, pretty much. Now, if we come down here as well, this focuses on streamlining for new players coming into the game. So with the new maps, or with the game's maps, as new maps are now rare, with the team focusing on map reworks a lot of Year 4's content. So of course, Year 4's when they started bringing in a lot of map reworks, and even this year we're getting 4 new map reworks. We've already received one of them, which was the Oregon rework. Now the answer for us now is to add new attachments or interesting operators to the game using the weapons that can feel more different, says Remy. We can see that there is now the silencer added to the D5. Yeah, so the D50, sorry, that's the Deagle. They added a muzzle brake and silencer. Now this was actually quite a unique change because of course you couldn't feature any barrels on that weapon. As well as within Ember Rise, we see Goyo features the extended barrel on Mirror's Vector. So that was also a new weapon, a new attachment. So they're adding new attachments to these weapons, of course, to make it interesting, but it is quite sad to see that they're just recycling weapons. Now, of course, Ubisoft haven't actually put anything out officially. Well, they have given statements, etc., as well as the main team giving out their thoughts and what's going on, pretty much. But they haven't actually put out a blog or anything, to my knowledge. I could be wrong here, but I haven't seen any blogs or anything pretty much stating exactly why they're recycling weapons and how long this is planned to go on for. But as I said, their list is thinning of what weapons they can add to the game due to licensing issues, so it is quite sad to see, like I said, to see these recycled weapons. But it's not too bad of a change because I feel like as long as they keep operators interesting. But that's another thing. Actually, I think it was within the last few seasons, we have been gaining quite a few players lately, but players were leaving due to their weapon recycling. So, Phantom Sight, like I said, everyone thought it was just an off season, but Ember Rise we saw the recycling of weapons, and Shifting Tides is when people had it, and Operation Void Edge was when people pretty much accepted it. All the people that didn't like it usually left. So, yeah, that's pretty much it, guys. I want to know what you guys think about it too, so if you guys want to comment down in the comment section below, that would mean a lot. If you guys enjoyed the video, don't forget to leave a like on the video. And yeah, that's it for this video. Don't forget to subscribe if you're not already. And guys, I have a giveaway going on right now. You can win 600 R6 cred, so there'll be 3 separate winners. And yeah, if you want to win that, you know, you can enter that on my Instagram. Link will be in the description below. Winners will be announced on the 24th of March. Or sorry, not March, sorry. 24th of May. And yeah, I'll catch you guys later.
Oh, you make me wanna talk back to you. Say it like that. If I hate you, then find someone new. Baby, but you